Yo, yo, yo! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we delve into a dark and disturbing part of history. We're not talking about some dusty old textbook stuff. This is real, raw, and recent. We're talking about mob justice, vigilante violence, straight-up lynchings. Buckle up because we're about to unpack the top 5 public lynching incidents in northeast India. These are stories that shook the nation, stories that force us to confront the darkness that can reside even in the most unexpected places. Our journey starts in 2015 in Dimapur, Nagaland, a place known for its vibrant culture and serene landscapes. But on this fateful day, it became the epicenter of a tragic event that would shake the nation. Imagine this: a man accused of rape, locked away in prison, awaiting his trial. He sits in a dimly lit cell, perhaps contemplating his fate, hoping for a fair trial to prove his innocence or face his punishment. You might think, okay, standard procedure, right? The wheels of justice turning as they should. But in this case, the wheels were about to be violently derailed. A mob of thousands, fueled by rumors and rage, stormed the prison. Their anger was palpable, their intentions clear. They had no interest in waiting for the law to take its course. They weren't there for a peaceful protest. They were there to exact their own form of justice, a brutal and unforgiving kind. They overpowered the guards, dragged the accused man out, beat him mercilessly, and paraded him naked through the streets. The scene was chaotic, a horrifying display of unchecked human rage. This wasn't about justice, this was about vengeance. The mob had become judge, jury, and executioner, driven by a collective fury that blinded them to the principles of law and humanity. The man, stripped of his dignity and any chance of a fair trial, was lynched. His cries for mercy drowned out by the roar of the crowd, his life extinguished in a moment of sheer brutality. The mob even went as far as to dump his broken body in the heart of the town square, a grim reminder of their wrath, a warning to others, and a stark symbol of the failure of justice. This, my friends, was a blatant display of the brutal consequences of mob justice. It serves as a chilling reminder of what happens when the rule of law is overshadowed by the rule of the mob. In the end, it wasn't just a life that was stolen, but the very essence of justice itself. Fast forward to 2018, in the serene yet remote district of Karbi Anglong, Assam, 2 young men found themselves in an unfamiliar town. They were strangers, merely passing through, minding their own business, unaware of the storm brewing around them. In a tragic twist of fate, a case of mistaken identity would seal their doom. Unfounded rumors had been circulating, whispers of child abductors prowling the area. These baseless suspicions, fueled by fear and paranoia, quickly spiraled out of control. Whispers turned into accusations, and fear morphed into a bloodthirsty mob. The community, gripped by panic, sought to take justice into their own hands. But what they delivered was far from justice. The 2 young men, completely innocent, were suddenly surrounded. Their pleas for reason and explanations fell on deaf ears. The mob, driven by a frenzy of fear and anger, saw only what they wanted to see: threats that needed to be eliminated. They were brutally beaten, their cries for help lost in the deafening roar of the mob. The violence was relentless, a horrifying display of humanity's darkest impulses. Left for dead, their lives tragically cut short, they became another grim statistic in the dark reality of mob lynchings in India. Their families, left to mourn, would never see justice for the senseless loss of their loved ones. This wasn't justice, it was a horrific mistake with irreversible consequences. The tragedy of Karbi Anglong serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of mob mentality and the devastating impact of unfounded rumors. It calls for a collective introspection on how fear and misinformation can lead to irreversible actions, and the importance of reason and humanity in the face of chaos. Chapter 3. 2018 seemed to be a year when fear and suspicion ran rampant. In Dokmoka, Assam, 2 friends just hanging out became victims of a chillingly similar fate. Word spread like wildfire, the toxic whisper of child lifters, poisoning the minds of the community. The rumor mill churned, turning fear into paranoia, suspicion into a deadly weapon. These 2 friends, guilty of nothing but being in the wrong place at the wrong time, were confronted by a mob consumed by blind terror. Their pleas of innocence, their desperate attempts to reason, were met with violence. The mob, driven by an intoxicating cocktail of fear and misinformation, brutally lynched the 2 friends. Chapter 4. Tezu, Arunachal Pradesh, 2018. A small town nestled in the serene hills where life usually moves at a gentle pace. A heinous crime, the rape and murder of a minor girl, shook the community to its core. The news spread like wildfire, igniting a wave of sorrow and outrage. 2 men were accused, the finger of blame pointed squarely at them. The evidence was circumstantial, but the community's anger demanded immediate action. The anger, the grief, the need for justice, it was palpable. Protests erupted with people holding signs and chanting for justice. The air was thick with tension. But instead of letting the law take its course, a mob decided to mete out their own brand of justice. The legal system, already strained, was bypassed entirely. The accused men, denied any chance of defending themselves in a court of law, were hunted down. They ran, desperate to escape the wrath of the mob, but there was no refuge. The mob, consumed by a desire for revenge, took the law into their own hands. They believed they were delivering justice, but in reality they were perpetuating a cycle of violence. The result? Another tragic instance of a lynching, a life taken without a trial, a community forever scarred. The graves of the murdered men stand as a grim reminder of what happens when justice is overshadowed by vengeance. The courtroom, where justice should have been served, remained empty. The legal process, meant to protect the innocent and punish the guilty, was rendered meaningless. In the aftermath, the community gathered to mourn, lighting candles in memory of the lost lives. The pain of the crime and the subsequent lynching left deep scars that would take years to heal. Authorities increased patrols, trying to restore a sense of security, but the damage was done. Trust in the system was shattered, and the town of Tezu would never be the same again. As the sun sets over Tezu, the town is left to grapple with the aftermath of a heinous crime and a twisted path to justice. The lessons learned are harsh, but they serve as a stark reminder of the importance of due process and the rule of law. Chapter 5. Our final stop takes us to Jorhat, Assam, 2019. This time the victim wasn't a suspected criminal, but a doctor. A tea estate worker died, and in a shocking turn of events, the blame fell on the doctor. The mob, fueled by grief and anger, descended upon the doctor. He was their target, the embodiment of their rage and sorrow. Their grief, however misplaced, fueled a wave of violence that swept through the tea estate. The doctor, a professional trying to save lives, became a victim himself. His pleas for reason, his attempts to explain, were swallowed by the mob's thirst for retribution. 5 incidents, 5 tragedies, 5 stark reminders of the fragility of life and the dangers of mob justice. These incidents remind us of the dangers of mob justice and the importance of law and order. When we allow rumors and fear to dictate our actions, when we bypass the legal system and take justice into our own hands, we become no better than the mob itself. Stay informed, stay safe, and remember, true justice lies in upholding the law, not in circumventing it. Thank you for watching.